I'm only gonna break your heart.
America's first competition talk show.
The Hub is engaging.
Talk life.
Gonna break your heart.
7-year-old Julie Murphy set up a lemonade stand at an arts fair in Northeast Portland, but the business venture was soured when health inspectors showed up and shut her down.
This is an environment of welcoming, and you should just get the hell out of here. Why are you here?
Good day, welcome to the Hub. We've got Jared on the program all week long. Mr. Clean is the only one who would show up to be on the Hub this week. So you get lots of talk time, Jared, because after all, I mean, everybody else heard Sarah Palin was in Georgia, so they all went there.
That's what it was. And my people are very excited about seeing just me all the time.
You all the time.
Yes,
So
they don't get enough of me as it is.
I expect great things out of you all week long for the program, the days of the program. Speaking of which, great things. A young child, a 7-year-old girl in Oregon, recently learned the first thing about doing business. She set up a lemonade stand at this little community fair that they were having, and it was Julie Murphy, a 7-year-old girl. She set up the lemonade stand. She had the 5-cent lemonade drinks, and lo and behold, she was shut down in the middle of a festival because she did not have the license, $120 license from the health inspectors that showed up to pull her license. And, when I think about this, I think about the fact that, she just learned a vital lesson in the cost of doing business. Because she learned about the principle of overhead. Every good business has overhead, and if it goes over your head, then perhaps you're too short to get on the ride yet. Take a seat, wait a few years. What do you think?
Lesson learned,
the
first
right?
rule of business is that the government's going to make your life hell. So
yeah,
that's the she's already well on her way to understanding that first principle.
She learned the principle. Your father, you'd applaud health inspectors for this sort of thing.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Teachable moment.
Yes. Because the last thing we need are the Obama kids out in front of the White House selling their own lemonade.
Well,
what if they got some of the lobbyists sick? Then what will we do?
You're right. Not only that, and not to mention the fact that they have parties there all the time. It increases the risk extravagantly.
Yes,
but
the Salahis could have had tainted lemonade, and then it'd be all over TLC or whatever network.
Or Nickelodeon for that matter. I mean, we're talking about Sasha here, Shasha. But it really is. I learned this kind of stuff growing up. I mean, we had I don't know if you were an industrious young chap, but we had grandparents had coffee filters.
Yeah.
One day I was about 5 years old, decided I'd make snowflakes out of them, cut a bunch of holes in them, and sell them back to them at 25 cents a piece.
Nice.
My overhead was nil, but I found out very quickly that the overhead cost me 2 days in a room thinking about the cost of doing business. So.
Yes.
You learn lessons.
That's what you thought about in that room while you were making snowflakes as the cost of business.
I was actually thinking about the next franchise,
yes,
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. But anyway, so that's the story there. By the way, there's a thing going on right now that the irony is just sweet. The Pentagon now has stepped in with our troops, our United States Marine Corps, and all the branches, and said you can no longer go on WikiLeaks. .com, the WikiLeaks page, which basically, if you remember this story a couple of months back, we had third-party sources. Nobody really knows who posted the documents, but they posted classified U.S. documents, military documents, on this website, WikiLeaks. And at the time, everybody was taking a look at them. Now everyone can see these things. The Taliban can see them. Your foes and your friends can all see them. But now the Pentagon is saying our own military cannot go online and look at these things because, after all, it's classified documents they'd be opening up on an unclassified site. It's dangerous. What do you think?
It's really nice. It is bureaucracy at its greatest, isn't it? It's even if it is classified, by the fact that it's on the internet now, wouldn't that negate the whole classified status of anything?
One would think.
I think at this point the cat's out of the bag, so maybe they should at least know what the enemy knows.
Well, they did say that this is basically documents chronicling what happened in Afghanistan, how we proceeded in Afghanistan between 2004 and 2009. This is really the first that I was learning that we were fighting a war in Afghanistan between 2004 and 2009. But who'd have known it? But furthermore, we weren't fighting it well because apparently we were more we were more concerned with what was going on in Iraq. So really, are we giving away that many secrets? I mean, if the enemy knows what we did in Afghanistan for 5 years there, it was kind of
not really any shockers in this one. We weren't doing a very good job, and it's pretty much we already knew that. I think we've been having that debate for the last 4 or 5 years. So but it really is. It's pretty ludicrous that it's on the internet, and if by opening the website you're in violation of some sort of military code, it is pretty dumb.
Yeah, I mean, plus we've got Karzai, we've got others that are there that are friends, and that honestly it's not as big a deal because so much of the intel is already known and shared.
Yeah.
But I mean, if anything, right now I'm looking at Pakistan. I'm looking at the border. I'm looking at what kind of intel were we gathering. You declassify that, we're in trouble.
Now, if our troops were, out in the field on Facebook updating their status, on Foursquare, just checking in at the border, just checking in, and
And if Geraldo was there reporting on it, they would be.
Right,
he would be.
Just smacked Geraldo in the face. Actually, I'd like to see that one be posted up. Just slapped Geraldo, some breaking news video.
Yeah.
Me slapping Geraldo.
I could actually see a widget,
great.
like something just a repetitive animated thing, just again and again and again.
That'd be nice.
That could be interesting. It could be a lot of fun, actually. They were saying, and here's some of the groups that are saying now, and the Pentagon officials saying that doing this, allowing the military to view these documents, would introduce potentially classified information on unclassified networks. So like WikiLeaks is a classified network.
Yeah,
I mean, can you have a classified wiki? Isn't it like a virgin whore?
Yeah, the reasoning doesn't make any sense at all. It's already out there. It's on the web. The only logical reason I could see for this is that if they could open WikiLeaks up and go on and then actually update information, and that's why you wanted to bar them from it, that would make some sense. But the stated reasons don't make any sense at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they said that there was actually a time just recently as a couple of months, where the Pentagon, where they were actually, the Marine Corps and the troops were going online all the time to blog, to tweet, to use the internet. And I guess that all shut down when they quit using World of Warcraft for stinger drills. But it doesn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, who has more incentive to play it safe than the guy whose safety depends on it? Because it's not like suicide bomb. It's not like we're suicide bombers. It's like we're trying to bring the hidden imam out from behind the bush.
We are trying to come home afterwards. At least most of the guys are, anyways.
Most of us have that as a goal. I think, to make it back alive. To me, it doesn't make much sense. I mean, you got a comment here by Summit Argawai. He's the former Google manager who's now serving as the Defense Department's social media czar. Did you know they had one of those?
I didn't, but thank God they do, because what we need in our military is more czars. Really, we really
I feel
do.
better already. He said, "Okay, try this out. Tell me what you think about this." He said, "I think of it as being analogous to MP3s or a copyrighted novel being online. Widespread publication does not strip away the laws governing the use of them. For example, if we put Avatar online all of a sudden and everybody downloaded it, I mean, it doesn't make it any less illegal, and James Cameron's going to come after you, and you shouldn't, worry about that. Is that analogous?
No. If James Cameron put Avatar on YouTube, which, if you saw Avatar, he probably should have just done that to begin with.
Yeah,
but
save us all.
It would have saved me the $15, $20. Mm-hmm. But if he put it on YouTube and you went and watched it, there's nothing illegal there. It's on the web. We're not talking about Napster. This isn't the Napster of security leaks.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be a totally different situation, and they're just reaching for
and if you had put
here.
it on YouTube to begin with, knowing what we know now, the danger is we might have had more folks on suicide watch after watching Avatar in the silence of their own homes.
Yes.
But it was bad enough in the theaters. But, honestly, I think that would be like Cameron actually putting the movie online and then forbidding his own staff, the film crew, to watch the film.
Pretty much.
And to me, that makes no sense in the world. So, I mean, all in all, this just really doesn't make a lot of sense. But what does these days in the way we're conducting warfare overseas and abroad? We'll leave that riddle for you to determine. We'll see you tomorrow on The Hub.